So we're back to the Tree of Life. This year will be given Le'ilu Nishmas V'Chaleya Bas Rav Chaim Tzvi. It's been a long time since we learned this, so just to keep us all refreshed, we left off by talking about how Torah is the force that gives us the ability to fight against the Yetzer Hara. Okay, V'zeu Shamar David Tova Tometiv. What David HaMelech says, you are good and do good. So what does that mean? What this means is that Hashem's nature, because He's good, is to create something that could receive good. So this takes us into some deep waters. Since we know that everything is an extension of Hashem's will, and we know it says there's no king without a kingdom. The king isn't the kingdom. They're two different things. So is there such a thing as otherness, or isn't there? So the answer is that everything to one degree or another has a spark of divinity that is Hashem Himself. Okay, however, this spark of divinity in a human being is called Chelek Elokami Ma'al Mamash. It's called absolutely a portion of Hashem. While in other things it's not. It's some radiance, it's something, but it's certainly not the essence of Hashem. Okay, so the nature of Hashem, who is good, meaning He is what He is, He's the definition of goodness, is to do good, meaning to make people have something of that goodness within them. The problem is that that part of goodness within us is often almost impossible to access. We cover it up with so much stuff. But in the end, if you go down to the deepest layer, there's goodness. So let's look at three examples. Let's think for a moment of anger, of arrogance, and of jealousy. So certainly anger is no good. But if you go inward a little bit, the voice of anger is always, this is not as it should be. It should be some other way, the way I want it to be. So here already we've got to stop inward, especially if there's some self-awareness about what the voice is. And we'll see that what we're really looking for is justice and fairness. Take it a step inward. The world is as Hashem wants it to be. I have to be in a state of balance. I have to know response. So we've just taken justice and moved it a step inward to Gvura, to wanting to overcome evil from within oneself. So that's good. That's an emanation of Hashem, the desire to overcome, to clear the surface, to make it possible for something more to be. That's certainly godly. The same would hold true. We gave the example of arrogance. The voice of arrogance is, I really deserve that. Or, I'm glad they recognized whatever. Move it in a step. What is it saying? I want to feel significant. One of the 10 names of the soul is kavod. The person is experiencing their own spiritual need for significance, but it's corrupted by their seeking significance through the voice of others. Move it in a bit. Kol masha barati l'chvodi barati. Hashem says, everything I made, I created in my honor. A person at the same time says, Kol ha'olam nivra bishvili. Everything was made for me. Meaning Hashem made us to give Him honor, and that's where our sense of significance comes from, etc. So Hashem is good, and did good by giving us something of Himself. K'mo shekatafti l'mala, she'ein tov ela Torah. There's no goodness except Torah. So it means the only way we can come to access this goodness from within ourselves is Torah. Otherwise, all of the distractions, the nonsense, the separateness, the ego, make it impossible to find that place. Therefore, it says in the creation narrative, the phrase, after every day, and Hashem saw it was good. Everything that was created to be unlocked by the Torah. So he gives us a hint at this. Take notice of this. The words Tov are repeated 6 times in the creation narrative. The word Tov times 6, 17 times 6, is the same gematria as the word Emunah. What is that telling us? It's telling us that the essential goodness that's inherent to the act of creation is that it opens up to emunah. It opens up our hearts to emunah. V'zehu she'amru ba Chabakuk v'midam el echad v'tzadik be'emunata yichyeh. Okay, so this is what it says. All of the different mitzvot of the Torah are meant to give us a focus, to make us figure out how to get rid of the nonsense and access the good. So we have to ideally know all 613 mitzvot, which is hard. So just as, for those of you who are ambitious, you can never tell who I'm talking to, it's not a terrible idea to try to learn Rambam's Sefer Mitzvot. His Sefer Mitzvot is, it appears at the beginning of every edition of his Yad, of the